This is Let's Talk Business with your host, Marc Ebinger. Now, here's Marc.
Welcome back to the Let's Talk Business podcast. Coming up on the show today, we're going to talk about making it in the home improvement business. In studio with us today is Eddie Marotta, the owner of Precision Windows, a company that focuses on exterior home improvements. They specialize in replacement windows, doors, sidings, and gutters. And of course, they handle projects related to the exterior of the house. Eddie, welcome to the show. First timer.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm excited you're here. I'm your host, Marc Ebinger, the owner of Krukus Virtual Staffing, a company that recruits and staffs the perfect overseas administrative assistant for insurance agents who need help with policy management, claims processing, and client communication.
And I'm your co-host, Jenevy Sims with the Evolve Firm, where we help business owners create marketing strategies to help evolve and elevate their business.
A quick reminder to follow the Let's Talk Business podcast on all major podcast platforms and social media where you can catch video versions of the show. You can get to everything easily from our website at satalkradio.com. All right, so, Jenevy, we had a B&I Mega Mixer recently. Eddie, I know you missed it.
I did miss it. I did miss it.
I'm not going to hold you to it.
Out.
I know.
So, but what did you think of the event?
It was fantastic. That I didn't realize it until I walked in that used to be the old Hallmark College Institute.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it was really interesting to see it now being converted into a co-working space. It definitely was able to fit the entire group. We had a lot of people. The place was packed. The food was excellent. Oh my gosh. The sponsor for that one, great, very grateful for them. The all the big major sponsors, and then having that screen behind them. That screen was phenomenal. That elevated the whole experience altogether. And then, of course, shout out to Indigo Productions. And who was the other photographer? Was it Mark?
So, yeah, Matt Roberts.
Matt, yes. He did an excellent job capturing all those incredible moments. So that was fantastic. Like I said, Mark, you have been elevating every one of your experiences, every one of your events, and I was just happy to be a part of it.
Well, I'm glad you were there. We had a great time. Of course, we captured, professional videography and photography, so we got some great shots, great video. I like to do that because then we can use that content to promote the next one and the next one and so on and on and on and on. So, yeah, the photographs that Matt Roberts took, slightly different, or his team took, slightly different than we've had in the past. They kind of captured a little bit more of that intimate feel.
They're very up close and personal.
Yeah, so I thought that was great. Anyway, sponsors did a great job. We just really kind of knocked it out of the park on that. And that screen behind us it's like a $12,000 screen that when they rent it out, it can go indoors and outdoors. But that was fantastic that we just happened to be there at the right time to be able to use that.
Exactly, yes.
Cool.
We need that for every event.
Right? No kidding. I'm kind of spoiled now. All right. Speaking of events, the next Let's Talk Business podcast Mega Mixer is coming up here in San Antonio on Thursday, October 3rd from 5:30 to 7:30. Early bird tickets are on sale now, and they are going fast, which is nice. They're just $15. That price is for early bird. So I'm not sure at what point we'll trigger it. It'll be triggered to go to the next.
It's gonna
change. Of course, at the door is probably going to be $25. So you're probably going to want to get those tickets ahead of time. That way we can plan. We know exactly how many people are going to be there. We can get sold out. And
how much margaritas to have.
Yeah. Whatever it is, we want it times 2.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're going to have great food, plenty of drinks, and sponsor tables where you can chat it up with local businesses and take advantage of some great deals. I like having those sponsored tables there. It's really kind of cool. People gravitate towards it, conversation happens, and then business gets done. So once again, get your discounted tickets, your early bird tickets now by visiting our website at satalkradio.com. And a quick shout out to Keaton Freeberg and the Texas Suits Law Firm for being a sponsor at the next Let's Talk Business Mega Mixer. Texas Suits Law Firm is a full-service law firm that provides innovative legal solutions and exceptional customer service. They handle both transactional and litigation matters, including real estate and construction law, business and personal litigation, estate planning, and business contract law. To learn more about Texas Suits Law Firm, visit their website at txsuits.com, or you can call them at 210-503-2800. That's one of the benefits, of course, of being a sponsor on the Let's Talk Business podcast Mega Mixer is, of course, you get a shout out and then some social media right behind that.
Absolutely.
So.
On one of the biggest San Antonio business podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so Eddie, welcome to the show. So we're gonna, this entrepreneurship is one thing that I've been passionate about for quite a few years now. Of course, I'm a retired cop, so it's not like they taught me anything there about business ownership, but I thought it would be cool to do that. So I'm curious to get into your background a little bit about starting up, and then we can talk more about what you're doing now and where you're going with your business. So give me a little bit about your background. How did you end up in the precision windows business?
Oh, man. Well, I actually, my first profession in my former life, I was a golf pro. Oh. So, yeah, so I ran
It's a great
golf
way
courses.
to network.
It is a great way to network. Yeah,
Are you still doing that?
No. Every once in a while, some friends will ask for some lessons or whatever, so I'll do that. But I started as a golf pro. I worked at various golf courses throughout San Antonio, even went to Dallas-Fort Worth for a little bit, opened up a golf course there. And then country clubs were great because you got to meet a lot of members. The members were great. Met a lot of people. That's when I really started interacting with people and just having a good time, loving talking to people, and just absorb all their knowledge and information. So, and then a member actually got me into this, and started doing that.
So what does that mean? A member got you into it?
Well, he kind of put a bug in my ear and saying, these are some of the things you can do. I've always, being behind the counter of at a golf course or a country club is great. I love it. Members are awesome, but I also wanted to do something for myself, right? I wanted to be that guy on the other side of the counter. That was always something that I always thought about. So, and the members really loved that about me, right? They said, okay, you have something, you have a drive. And so he started talking to me about home improvement, things that you can do, work on talking to people. And then I made the jump. I literally made the jump with just saying, let's do it. No money, let's just do it. So I started with him for a little bit. He helped me out. And then I ventured off on my own. And then here I am today, 12 years later.
Okay, so 12 years. How's the ride been? Has it been?
It's crazy. It's been up and down. It's when you start from nothing,
Right.
And really literally have to just grind it out. And, my brother did help me. We started Precision Windows back in 2015, I believe it was, officially 2015. And we put some couple $1,000 that we had together and said, okay, let's do it. And then he just helped me out to get it started, and boom, it just took off. And he was in home improvement as well, so kind of got on his coattails and started talking, and did a lot of advertising on the radio, and then then it started going from there. So, and then of course COVID in the middle of all that kind of took a little hit, but oddly enough, COVID actually was pretty good to us for about a year and a half. And then everybody stopped, doing home improvement.
They're doing a lot of home improvement projects, right? Well,
Yeah,
how was radio for you, advertising?
Radio was great. I love doing advertising on the radio. We do AM stations, and I do my own commercials. We do have someone that sponsors us on one of the radio stations, but we get out there. For a while, my brother and I did a lot of bantering with each other, kind of make it funny. It's nothing serious. I mean, we do windows, right? It's nothing, not rocket science. But we did that. We've been doing that ever since we started. It does take a while. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it took about 5 months, 6 months to really get it turning. And then all of a sudden the phone started ringing, and, I go to the appointments and people were like, "Oh, you're the guy on the radio." I'm like, "Yeah, like I come to see you." And they get excited about that. And, it kind of breaks the ice. And then I'm able to talk to them and show them about what we do, teach them, educate them. And it doesn't have that salesperson pressure to it. And when we started that, that's when I really focused on, okay, we're educating people about what we do, not high pressure sales.
Which is excellent. That's what people want.
Oh yeah, that's what people
Nobody
want.
likes to be
They don't
sold
want to come in. You don't want to go in there and people are like, "All right, just give me the price." And no, like I want to build a relationship with you. Like that's what it's all about. Because I don't want you to feel like I'm just trying to sell you a window. I'm not. I'm trying to do something for you that's going to help you in the long run, not only for your the efficiency of your home, but also the value of your home. anytime you do remodeling, it's going to enhance the value of the home.
Oh, very true. Well, when you first started, like you said, when you were working at the golf course, you were looking for opportunities.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah,
And
always.
that's a great thing to just let everybody know, especially with networking, is that you look for opportunities, even if it's not that time. It's just looking for opportunities to connect, build those relationships so that those will start taking root in some of the ideas that you have. And in this case, it was home improvement.
Yeah.
Well, when you started building your business, what were some of the things that you realized, that you didn't know about building a business?
Oh man, that is a great question. All the back of the house stuff, I had no idea. Dealing with, I need QuickBooks. Oh, I need a bookkeeper.
Right.
I got to keep tabs of what I'm paying, for merchandise or for, from the vendors. And what can I expense? And, just the whole logistics of that. Because for a while I was doing it all on my own. And my brother was taking care of the bookkeeping side of it. And then once I started taking over everything, it was a shock. It's okay, time to get a bookkeeper and time to do, get a sales project manager to help me facilitate these jobs, to talk to the customers. I love talking to the customers in the beginning, and then it goes to someone else to make sure the process goes good in the whole construction side of it. So yeah, that was a rude awakening for me, because I'm there painting this great picture, and then, now I have to follow through on it.
Exactly.
Well, there's things that you don't know that you don't know.
Right.
Right. So, and that's my whole life is my
Yes.
business life is figuring this stuff out
Yeah.
too. I was laughing at the question because it's like, what did you realize you didn't know? So I started filling in the gaps as well. But one of the things I realized pretty early on was trying to figure out where my highest value was
Yeah.
and making sure I can go there, but then figuring out how do I plug the holes of the rest of the service that needs to get done.
Yeah.
Where I started was the service. So I do the sales and marketing, right? I'm the relationship guy.
Right.
But then the actual hiring the virtual assistant, I've got a Filipino team that does that for me now.
Yeah.
And they're my employees. And so they execute on that. So how far into your business did you get before you had that team that executed on the delivery of the service?
Oh man, it was a couple of years. Like I was driving myself nuts. I mean, I'd wake up in the morning thinking about it. I'd be, going to bed thinking about it. And it was just like, okay, what am I good at? Like, I love talking to people, that is my thing. And, I'm a very quiet person, but when you get me in front of someone that is expecting me to come to their house, then I'm great. I love talking. I can talk all day long. And then, but the logistics side in terms of getting the installers ready and getting the windows done and scheduling, that was, okay, I need to work on that. So then, got to hire someone to do that. Got to hire a bookkeeper to take care of all my paperwork. So it's probably year 2 years to where it's like, okay, let's start moving, expanding to where I'm not driving myself crazy. Because it becomes, it's not fun when you're going to bed at night thinking
it's
about that stuff.
overwhelming. Your brain's constantly going.
Yeah.
And I still remember to this day being in my home office with my wife walked in, and I just hired my second VA. And I told her, I said, I didn't realize how busy I was.
Yeah.
And it's a huge relief so that you can focus on where you need to be focusing on.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be so busy that you become counterproductive, and it takes you away from actually being able to scale. At what point, now that you've got your strategy and you've got your team together, at what point did you start expanding your services? Because you do much more than windows, right?
Right. Yeah. I just started doing windows and doors just to start out, because that's what I really knew. That's a lot of the information that I was learning was those 2 products. And I'm still learning to this day on those products. I mean, there's new products coming out. There's different manufacturers. So it's a constant learning cycle, right? But so it's probably year 3, I think it was, is when we started getting into siding and just doing mainly hardy siding. I had a good friend that I learned that from, and he happened to be working for James Hardie. And so we got together and he taught me everything about siding. And I had dabbled in it a little bit prior to that, but nothing crazy. And then we went full on and started advertising it. And that's great. I mean, I love siding. I mean, we do it. We do whole houses. We do partials. It doesn't matter to us. Even when it comes to windows. Like I can do one window. I can do all your windows in your home. It doesn't bother me one bit.
What's your highest profit margin service or product that you're offering?
Probably the siding, because it's much more labor intensive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, labor intensive. Doors aren't either. I mean, it's a lot of those are. I mean, you just do a couple windows, it's fine. You do a whole house, it's great too. But you're siding because it's just so much more labor intensive. I mean, we're ripping things down to the stud when it comes to siding.
How is it on the labor side these days, hiring and finding good people? How many do you have on your team? Are they 1099 W-2s?
Yeah, they're 10. I mean, everybody in terms of home improvement are 1099. So don't let anybody fool you that, I got employees. 99% of the time they don't, right?
I found out that too.
Yeah,
Yep.
Why is that?
It's because you have to pay them per the job, right? If you pay them an hourly wage to do a siding job that will take 2 weeks, they'll be there for a month, right?
Gotcha.
So it's counterproductive.
I understand that.
You know?
Gotcha.
When you do one window, they'll take all day to do that window if they know they're making $25 an hour, right? Like it's so you say, okay, no, this window's going to cost you this much to put in, and you're gone. Go to the next one. So it just keeps them very productive. But I have, I think I have about 3 to 4 crews, mixed up with doors, windows, and siding and gutters that I keep busy to where they're not going to different places saying, oh, I'll work for you here, or let me work for you there. Like I keep them grounded because I give them enough work. So they're very loyal, and I'm very loyal to them. I'm always going to give them.
How do you handle warranty claims?
Warranty claims are pretty easy. I have a project manager on staff, so he takes care of he facilitates all the warranties. If it's something really easy, he'll just go knock out real quick. We have parts and stuff that we can do. But if it's a bigger issue that is required for the manufacturer to remake something, then we facilitate it. We get it through to the manufacturer, and then they will deliver that stuff.
What about if it's an installation issue, right? It wasn't installed right by one of the 1099 subcontractors.
Oh yeah, if it's something like that it's a labor issue, then we get the guys back out there. My project manager will always take a look at it first to see what the issue is. 99% of the time, it's really not the install itself. It's something else. It could be a defective part on a window or a door. And sometimes once it settles in, the window or the door settles in, or if you have a house that's always shifting, could be an issue too. But you usually see those later down the road, 3, 4, 5 months later. But typically, if we deal with the warranty, we see it right then and there. It's a window or a door issue. It's defective in some way.
Yeah, it
So he
sounds
takes care
like
of
you've
that.
got a pretty proficient process, especially when it comes to handling clients' questions and concerns. Did you ever at one point have one that kind of really confused you or questioned you as far as what you're doing, or kind of put you in that position where maybe I got to reset my my policies? And
always. I'm constantly changing my terms and conditions based off issues that may come up, things of that nature. Like an easy example is like when we're putting in windows with alarm systems. Like we don't touch alarm systems, and if it's wired, we just leave them out. Like we'll let the customer cut them if need be. If the alarm company comes back and they decide to put wireless on, then they can cut them. But I do not want to be liable for anything that we accidentally clip. But then some customers were like, well, why didn't you clip them? Or if the wire is not long enough, right, to pull out, well, then we just have to stick it back in the wall and then let them know. So some of them are not out, some of them are in, and then they're wondering what's going on.
wow.
So that's one of the things I really had to put in my terms and conditions. Like we're not liable for
Yes.
anything like that.
So you set the expectations going in.
Now we
If
do,
you've got
yes.
an
Yeah.
alarm system.
And that's
Yeah.
constantly evolving for
It's
every
it's
business.
constantly evolving. And when I used to when I would go into a customer's house, I would let them know that. But by the time the install comes around, which is 4 weeks later, it's not in their memory bank anymore. And it's like, well, no, you said that. No, I didn't say that. So
Right.
now it's on paper. here you go. You know, just like pets, like you gotta put them somewhere. Like
Yeah.
gates are going to be open all the time, so I can't be responsible if your dog gets out and goes, you know, roaming around the neighborhood. So those are just some things that, you know, you don't think of at first, and then you're
Right.
like, I got to put that in there, you know. Gotta do something
Was there
like
any
that.
service or like installation or whatever that you handled that you don't do anymore because you're like, I don't like this, and you pulled out of it?
Yeah, like vinyl siding. Yeah.
Why?
Oh, wow.
It's just to me it's like a mask. To me it's you're masking the problem because it just goes over whatever you have there now, right? Unless it's, you know, you're switching vinyl for vinyl, so I guess you can take that off, but you know, if you have just wood siding and you're just vinyl siding is just going over. To me it's very, you know, you can't paint it. It just comes in one color and you're done. Whereas hardy, you can paint it whatever you want anytime. You can change the colors, all that kind of good stuff.
When it adds value, there's some insulation value, there's some protective value.
Yeah.
What else did you not like about vinyl?
It's very easy to break. Like hailstorms come, I mean, it's
Oh,
popping
wow.
holes in it all day long. Whereas hardy, it's not going to. Or any type of wood siding, it's not going to. It's just, you know, take the power washer to it, clean it up, and you're good. But vinyl, just stay away from
Like
it.
a
So,
Band-Aid.
if there's somebody out
Yeah.
there thinking about getting into the windows and doors or maybe the home improvement on the exterior type of business, what is something you would tell them, hey, you know,
What's
do
your
this, but don't do
advice?
this?
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily do this or do that or not do that, right? I mean, vinyl siding to some people is great. Like some people love it because it's in and out. You know, is it cheaper? Of course it is. I mean, it's just because you're just putting it on. You're not pulling anything off. Really, I mean, you're pulling some stuff off, but not too much. And you know, it's something to me that's not what I want to give my customer. You know, if I know that they want new siding and we're pulling it off, I'm pulling it down to the studs. So now I can see what's in your wall. So if you had a leak by chance that you didn't tell me about and it rotted out one of your studs, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a new stud in there. Or if you had issues with your insulation that it disintegrated because of water or any other or rodents that got in there, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put insulation in there for you. And now your wall is fully efficient. It's got the right studs, and then I put everything back up.
Right, that's
You
a
know?
quality thing, right? That's an integrity thing as
Right.
well.
Absolutely.
But for somebody that's getting involved, like if I was going to go out and start a company and we were just, you know, having a drink and you're telling me, and I'm like, hey, what advice would you give me when I'm going into this thing? What would you tell me?
I would say, you know, hardy is the best way to go because it's the way we install it and the way James Hardy's wanted us to install it. It's going to provide maximum protection for your home. And we look at everything. So if something is wrong with the inner part of your house, then
So
he
that's
takes
where
care
you
of it.
would want me to start is with Hardy.
Yeah.
Just doing it, not windows and doors, but Hardy.
No, windows and doors are great too. And windows are great to do at the same time you're doing James Hardy, you know, because then everything comes off and you're putting that in as well. But it's a matter of, you know, making sure you're doing it right, right? I mean, replacement style is a little bit different, right? Because you have all these entities on the inside of the outside of the home. You have your brick, your stucco, your siding on the outside. On the inside, you have your sheetrock, right? And I'm putting in a window in that when the house was first built, window's the first thing to go in, then everything around it. So now I'm having to take out a window that is surrounded by, you know, all these outside agencies and put a new window without messing that stuff up. You know,
So you
because
need,
nobody wants to pull brick off all the way around it, right?
right.
It's
That's
going
a
to cost
bigger
more money.
project.
So now more money goes into labor and redoing the brick, even though you're buying a cheap window, right? You're going to buy a better window and less labor, and now you're getting that quality window that you need.
You got to go out and when you're starting a business, finding a crew. How would you prioritize finding your 1099 crew and then focusing on the business, or do you think you should be just doing it yourself for the first couple of years?
I mean, you can try to do it yourself the first couple of years. I take that back. I did a few installs myself with a couple guys that knew how to do windows. But at the time, right before we were creating the business, I knew a few guys that were able to install. And actually, I went out there with them, and they taught me actually how everything gets, you know, broken down and then the install. Because I mean, it'd be bad for me to go into someone's house and say, okay, we just replace your windows. Well, how do you do that? Well, I don't know, so I had to learn that. And then slowly just got different people, different referrals from other 1099 guys, and then developed 3 or 4 crews that I liked. And, whenever I get a new crew, like they'll work on a couple jobs for me and just like 1 or 2 windows here, nothing big, until they prove themselves and say, okay, you know what? Let's put you in here because I know that you can do a window job. And either myself or project manager will go take a look at their work or be there while they're doing it to see how efficient they are, how they take pride in what they're doing, make sure they clean up. I mean, if they leave a mess, I don't want them on my team. It's because I'm going to get the flack for it from the customer, right?
Yep. And with the service industry, it's so important to make sure you got the right
people.
people.
It's huge. I mean, I've had one, I've had a customer where he didn't like the fact how we cleaned up, and it was a multiple day service. So it's, yeah, they cleaned up, but could they have cleaned up better? Of course, from one day to the next. And then didn't tell me until, the 3 days were up. I'm like, well, why didn't you tell me? Like, I could have taken care of it right away.
Yeah.
What about having a camera on the job, watching all that? I know roofers that do that. I mean,
Roofers do that. I've seen them do that. When I use the GoPro or something like that, it's to kind of do the whole social media of how they're putting a door together and do the fast version of it. But it's a little tougher when you're going around the house as opposed to just setting something up on top of a roof. So that can be a little different sometimes. But now that we have project managers, my project manager that goes out to all the jobs, make sure everything's going well. Plus I have a lot of social media people going out there to go take pictures and videos of the job. That helps too.
And then everybody in that industry, especially in the service industry, they all know each other.
Oh, yeah.
And so they refer each other work, or, if they've had a bad experience with one company, they'll tell the others to, don't take any jobs from this individual. So what are one of the things that you do that kind of sets you apart, that has your people keep coming back?
Well, that's a great question, because my biggest thing, and when I come into someone's house, is about education. That is, I'm a little bit different in terms of a window company, because since it's a family-owned business, I'm not a franchise. I didn't go buy a business and say, okay, let's go, right? I started this from the ground up. So I have, 7 or 8 different window manufacturers that I use, depending on what you want in a window. Same thing with doors. I've got 3 or 4 door manufacturers, depending on what you're looking for in a door, whether it's a front door or back door. Mainly front doors, because sky's the limit with front doors. And then, Hardy is just Hardy, and gutters is just gutters. But with the windows and the doors, there's all different types of manufacturers. So what are you looking for in a window? Okay, well, I'm looking something energy efficient. Okay, great. All of them are still there, right? They're all energy efficient. Okay, I want something with a black color to it. Okay, you want black on the inside or the outside? I want them on both. Okay. So now from those 7 manufacturers, now we're down to 2, right? Okay, so here are the 2 windows or manufacturers that make that window in a black on black, okay? And then here's the differences between them. And then you decide. It could be price, it could be warranty, it could be how the black is applied onto the window. So there's different things, as opposed to someone coming in that can only sell one window manufacturer, and then they're in your house for 3 hours trying to convince you that this is the best window, and then they dog all the other window brands. I'm the exact opposite. I'm going to give you, all these different options. There's no reason for me to badmouth a different window, because I carry that window too. So, and I've had people tell me, Eddie, you know what? I want to go with this window. You don't happen to not carry this one. Okay, that's great. You found something that you wanted. Am I disappointed? Of course I am. But you found what you wanted.
Yeah, happy client at the end of the day is what matters.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Even if I don't get the job, hey, you know what? You got what you wanted. The only thing that I don't like is when they're sold, right? When someone is sold a window and they tell me, Eddie, I had to make a decision that day or I was going to lose the price. Come on.
You've been sold. People don't like to be sold. People like to buy.
Correct.
Right? So how do you approach marketing? Where are you getting your customers from? Is it all referral based these days, or are you still doing a lot of outreach?
Well, now, with, being around for 9-10 years, yeah, I mean, we get a lot of referral. We get a lot of repeat customers. I still do radio. That's the one thing I've always kept since day one. So we do 550 KTSA radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that for 15 months.
Yeah. Jack Riccardi endorses us. He's been endorsing us for, 10, 12 years.
So what's the ROI there? I mean, are you
Oh, it's great. Yeah. I mean,
definitely in the positive?
Yeah, definitely in the positive. Absolutely.
How many commercials are you running a week?
I do, let's see, Jack does 3 lives a week and then probably 20 to 25 commercials a week.
Okay.
So maybe, yeah.
Are you doing anything else to, I guess, complement the radio?
I do what's called ad pages. It's a mailer that goes out. I think it goes out to about 360,000 homes. And it's just like a little magazine that just has a bunch of advertising in it. And it's pretty much all the northwest, northeast side of San Antonio into Spring Branch and New Braunfels.
How's that doing for you?
That works out great.
Like,
I get a lot of siding and gutters from there because with the radio, it's mostly windows and doors, right? We do say siding and gutters, but really it's about windows and doors when it comes to the radio. But with the ad pages, it's all 4. So
what else are you doing marketing wise?
A little social media, not too much, and then of course on Google, try to get as many reviews as we can. Pay per clicks. We do some pay per clicks. We just started got a new company starting doing our SEO stuff, so that's been back going again.
Is the pay per click stuff, is that profitable? I mean, are you upside down? Are you losing
Yeah,
or are you gaining?
it's very iffy. It all depends who does it, right? And how it's calculated. I don't know how all that stuff works. I'm not a techie guy there when it comes to that. But I just look at what's on the reports, right? There's something I don't like, then I'm going to say something like, hey, why am I getting, 150 clicks on a Monday? Like that's not something that would
What should it be
happen.
on a Monday?
Probably like 60, 40 maybe.
Oh, okay.
But 180, no, like something's wrong there. Like it's what's
Especially
going
if it
on.
didn't convert.
Right, especially when the phone's not ringing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, someone.
It's just somebody clickbaiting.
Yeah, 180 people
and he's got to
clicked.
pay for it.
Yeah, clicked my pay-per-clicks, and I got 1 call. Like,
Yes.
no, that's, and then you look at the conversions where they're coming from. It's tier on tier on tier on tier. Like we're definitely not clickbait. We are, when someone's looking for windows, they're actively looking for windows. They're typing in window replacement San Antonio. I'm looking for a vinyl window. I'm looking for a Pella window. I'm looking, they're very specific in that. It's not something that you're scrolling through your Fox News or something and those advertisements pop up, right? It's not an emotional buy. It's not it's nothing like that. You've been researching, you've been looking at trying to get windows or siding or a door. It's a process. It's not an emotional buy.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting that the mailers you're using, because if is that part of their research that they've got this magazine and they're going to keep it and they hang on to it? Is that why that would work?
Some people keep it, or they know they're in the market and they get this magazine. Oh, let's see what's going on. Oh, it's perfect because I've been looking, thinking about windows. Let me call this guy.
What's the best form of advertising you're doing?
Oh, repeat customers. Or, referrals are always the best.
Mm-hmm.
But radio's always been good to me. Always been good to me. I mean, it has its ups and downs, but you got to actively be out there changing up your commercials. If something new pops up in the industry, or there's something new out there with doors or windows, you're talking about it. Plus, I love getting on the radio and just being funny. It's just, whether it comes out funny, I don't know, but sometimes it does. But it's just goofy. It's goofy.
Get a focus group to tell you if you're funny or not.
It's goofy.
I'd listen to that.
I have people tell me all the time, Eddie, I love your commercials with you and your brother, or with you, and y'all are crazy, and because it's not supposed to be serious, right? And it's windows and doors. Nobody really likes to buy windows and doors, right? You're doing it because you have to, because your windows stink right now. You get the fogginess or you get the drafts. Your doors out of square. You can see daylight coming. So it's not fun because you're going to spend money. It's not like a granite countertop. You're like, I want to cut on something new, right? Like, I want to get that new color. And you see it every day when you're cutting your, meats or whatever. You're cutting on that, right? And you're like, oh, this is nice. Or flooring. Flooring's nice too. You're walking on it every day. With windows, you got curtains, you got blinds covering it up. Let's forget about it. Even back doors. It's like, Front doors, on the other hand, people love buying front doors, right? Because they get to pick out exactly what they want. So it's different.
So I'm assuming you have a lot of door jokes then.
Yeah, right.
Window and door jokes, gag jokes.
I got to put that in the advertising. But yeah, it's a big thing. So that's why I go in there and I educate people so they're gonna enjoy purchasing a window or a door.
Have you ever recorded yourself on video doing your radio commercial?
Oh yeah.
Because that would make good content for social media.
We've actually posted it. This was several years ago. We hadn't done it. We did it a few times to where we're just, and we're on the mic. We got the paper. We're reading, and then we'd mess up, or we put something in there, and we're laughing like crazy. And that's on social media. Actually, you know what? I should pin it back up, and do that. Because we had
every time you go in there, have somebody take pictures of you doing it at least, or do some video as well, because that kind of stuff works well, like on TikTok or even Instagram. But if you can do like a stitch or something like that, because there's plenty of, if you look up broken window or window joke or something like that on TikTok, there's bound to be stuff you can stitch to where you're talking about something. That'd be a cool setup.
Yeah, even when we did a couple segments of like Great Day SA or what's the one with on Fox 29? Kimberly. I would film my brother as he's getting ready to do it, and then he would film me as we're waiting in the room and getting ready to come out and do that stuff too.
A lot of behind the scenes.
Yeah, a lot of behind the scenes stuff. But yeah,
people love that.
But yeah, but I definitely did that on the radio. It was fun. It was a lot of fun when we were doing that because we were just. It's funny. It's a minute-long commercial, and it probably takes me 30 minutes to do it because, this didn't work well, or, let's try saying it this way. And so it's, you just want to put something funny in there. Like it's not, I try not to be serious about it.
Everybody just relax a little bit. Have
relax.
some fun.
It's windows, it's doors. Like, come on.
And it's funny. I love that you bring that or pointed that out as, a lot of people in the service industry are going different routes with their marketing, and they're pulling away from the things that worked before, like the radio or billboards, things like that. They're going to the non-traditional route, which is also great, and it works. It depends on the industry, right? But radio's still going strong.
Oh yeah, and that's
even
why
if they switched to online radio.
Yeah, and that's why I love going to the appointments. I do a lot of my appointments as well. Like I love doing it because when they hear me on the radio and I go to the house, they're like, "Oh, you're the one on the radio." Yes, like you're gonna get me. Like it's very authentic. And when I talk to people, I'm very transparent with everybody. This is the way we do things. This is how take your time. Of course I'm going to ask for your business. I want to get your business. I want to make you happy. But I'm not going to pressure you either. Like, you want to take a couple days? Absolutely. When would you like me to call you back? Or when can I email you? You tell me. If you don't want me to email you at all, okay, it's fine. No problem. But, you can take all the time you need.
So let's talk exit strategy, as the company grows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we're not getting old, or we're not getting younger, right? We're getting older. I'd like to say we're not getting older, but anyway. So what are your plans with the company? What are you going to do? Is it going to your kids? Is it going to be sold? What are you going to do there?
You asked me that a while back, and I was like, what do I want to do? It's, I would like to keep it forever. I don't think I'll ever retire. Do I want to be, that main guy all the time? No, probably not. But maybe in the future, I'll always want to put my hands into something, whether it's a different business. Ever since I've been my own boss, I do not want to ever work for anybody else again. It's liberating, even though it's stressful. That's part of why I love it, right? It's fun. But maybe I don't think I'll leave it to any of the kids or anything like that. I think they have their own career paths that they want to do. but maybe sell it in the future. Maybe at some point.
Yeah. You're not looking for a broker
I'm not looking for anybody now. No, I mean, I think I'm still kind of young, so it's going to be a while. But I want to create this business to where it's, you hear Precision Windows and everybody's like, oh yeah, I know who they are. I know who Eddie is. You may not know me personally, but you know what we do and you know what we're about. I tell everybody, don't want to ever say I'm in the window business or the door business, right? I'm in the service business. I'm here to take care of you, whether it's a window, a door, siding, gutters. You want me to make a big hole for you and put a window in there? I'll do that too.
And while you're here, my car needs a new battery.
Yeah.
Needs a new window in my car.
You said you're in the service business.
I'll take care of you. If it has to do with energy efficiency and to upgrade your home, I mean, that's what we're here for.
What about solar? Are you guys doing that?
No solar, nothing like that. But like I had an apartment complex, call me up, Eddie, you do insulation? Yes, we do. Like it's something that we've done before, and we go in there and we insulated their attics. Take care of firewalls. That's the stuff we can do too. It's not limited to just a window or a door. We're here to take care of customers. And that apartment complex has been a repeat customer 3 times already, and I lost their window job.
Well, maybe it's Precision Windows.
But you got the insulation job.
Yeah. I mean, I lost the window job, to another company. And it's, and that's another thing we do. I mean, we do apartments, we do whole apartment complexes. We do new construction, someone building. I think there's one job down at the downtown that they're restoring a building. We're trying to take care of their windows for them there. Historical. So we do a lot of that stuff too. It's it's not just pop a window in and pop a window out, or pop a window out, pop a window in. It's we do a little bit more than that. And it's not.
So when you're in a historical district and you're doing some work, what are the additional challenges there?
Oh man, I mean, it depends on what historical district and how the homeowner tells the historical people what they're trying to accomplish. Some of them will be like, nope, you just gotta fix these windows or repair them. And some of them are like, you're okay as long as they're a wood window, then you can replace them at that point. It depends where they're in the house too. If they're on the back side of the house, they're a little bit more lenient than right in the front of the house. King William is a lot more strict than say Almos or some of the other ones out there, Woodlawn. It just depends where you're at.
Is
and
there
where those windows
different
are at.
permits that are required for historical?
Well, with the historical district, you need to, yeah.
Oh, wow.
But homeowners do all that stuff. Like it's
okay.
Homeowner
You don't
takes
have
care
to
of all
do
that stuff. I don't have to do that. No.
Oh, good.
We make sure, like especially when you're in like Castle Hills or Chavano Park, you do need an added permit for those little areas. But that's customer takes care of that.
What's like the most exotic window job you've had to do?
Oh man, this one I didn't necessarily get. I don't even think the gentleman's started building yet, but he came in and looking for a quote on some like Gothic windows because he was building a castle.
Nice.
Wow.
Here in the San Antonio area?
No, on outskirts of San Antonio. But
right.
Yeah, he's still thinking about
Wow.
that. So
It's going to be
I'm
one of those Airbnbs, right?
right, something
I
like
guess
that.
so.
Probably an
So-
investment property.
But yeah, but like the one downtown right now, I mean, they're rehabbing that. It's just, I think it was just an old manufacturing building that they're turning into some apartments. So we're going to go in there, but the historical district has a lot to say about those because it's in a historic area. So we're working with them on trying to get some windows approved and put in there. And I mean, they're turning that whole place around. I think it's only like 51 bedrooms, so very small.
Wow.
But yeah.
And you guys also moved into a new office, right?
We did. We
Tell
moved
us
into a
about
new
that.
office. So my brother has a cabinet and granite company. So he moved into this big facility, warehouse, all that stuff. And then so I moved in there as well. So I have my own showroom for my doors, my windows, and our offices, and then plus we can receive all our merchandise and but yeah, it's a pretty big facility. It's right off in Tacoma, between Tacoma and Rhapsody.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah,
should
so
come check
your
it out.
clients can actually go in there and pick
Yeah,
out stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's
to-
mainly for doors, right? It's
Okay.
hard to take a door to someone's house, right? It's, and even a corner cutout doesn't do it any justice. So, we have a lot of doors, front doors, and then we have some sliding doors, some different styles so people can look at and operate. And so the more exotic doors we have, put in the different rooms and different offices so they can see that stuff. So
What's trending now?
black windows.
Okay.
Black windows, yeah.
Really, it sounds hot here in
Yeah,
San Antonio.
I know.
It's like
I know.
black roofs.
Well, it's got that, they have that modern look, to it.
Yeah.
And a lot of window manufacturers are now starting to do the black on black. At first, they were just doing black on the outside and then white on the insides just to give it that outside look. But now they're seeing the trend. And so some of the manufacturers saying, okay, let's do the black on the inside as well. There's in vinyl, that is, right? Vinyl is what's hard about doing the black on black. Once you get into fiberglass, composite frames, black is easy. They do that all the time. It's just more of an expensive window. So, people really don't want to go that route sometimes. Some people do. But now we're going to have options to say, okay, a vinyl window now comes in black and black. They're very specific on which one, but at least, vinyl windows are now doing that.
Is there anything about the window that is new that people may not know about? That, okay, yeah, they're energy efficient, like you said earlier.
Yeah,
Energy
exactly.
efficient, right?
Yeah.
It's not
No.
exactly exciting. But, is there anything going on with the windows themselves that's revolutionary?
No. Now,
Elon Musk doing something with windows?
I will say,
Bring the Tesla.
it's funny
windows.
because I will say I hear people, when I go to someone's house, I always ask, has someone else visited you? Has anybody talked to you about windows yet? Or is that after me? And they'll tell me, hey, I had, maybe such and such. Or they won't tell me names. They'll just say, yeah, I had 2 guys come out. Okay, perfect. And then that's how I just start my education. But what's funny is everybody offers up the double hung window, right? It opens from the bottom like a normal window, and then it pulls down from the top. From the top, the top sash comes down to, per se, better ventilates, right? Because you can have both of them open at the same time. Okay, great. And they both pop out, they both fold out. And people think that's, the best thing since sliced bread. Mm-hmm. What a lot of people don't know is all those old homes that were pre-central air, they all did that to help ventilate. So it's nothing new to the industry. It's just that once central air came into place and the manufacturers, the builders were doing aluminum windows, well, they didn't need that top one to open anymore because you had central air. So let's just have the bottom ones open. But then now, everybody's saying, oh, double hung. It's, greatest
Catchy.
Greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. If it's great to you, then I'm offering it to you. If it's not great to you, I'm not going to offer it to you. That's
So
my
there's really
solution.
nothing new is what you're saying.
Nothing new. I tell people, are you going to use it? If you're going to use it, awesome. Are you going to use it to your advantage and justify the more money that you're going to be paying for it? If so, awesome. Then I'm right there with you. Do it. But if not, then don't do it. I have this window right here that doesn't open, just opens from the bottom. And it's the same thing. It's, everybody says, I don't want the good, the best, or the good, better, best. Okay, the good, better, best is in the eye of the beholder, right? Because the efficiency's there, right? It's just a matter of the options that you're choosing to make it a good, better, best.
That's true. That's good too.
A lot of those sales guys won't tell you that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the double hung really is kind of I don't know. It's one of those words that gets thrown at you.
Right. You're like,
I got to have that.
Oh, that's what pulls down too. Like, that's
It's
awesome.
a Tesla double hung. I'll take that. I'll take 2 of them.
Yeah. Like my wife was like, I want those, because I got the dogs. I want to pull down the top. Okay, that benefits you because you don't want the dog, putting his head outside and trying to break the screen. Okay, awesome. Or if you have little kids that you have windows that are really low to the ground, you want that double hung to pull it from the top. That way the kids don't try to get out, from the bottom. So, okay, that's awesome. Then double hung is going to work.
Cool. Well, Eddie, if folks want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
They can find me online. What is that? www.precisionwindowssa.com. So Windows is plural, and then sa.com. Or you can call the office, 210-596-6588. That's the office number. You can find me on social media, Facebook, Precision Windows, Precision Windows Central Texas, or Instagram, Precision Windows SA.
All right. And, of course, on the radio.
And on the radio, yeah.
Listen for that commercial.
550 KTSA, you'll hear my voice. Yeah. Jack Riccardi endorses me. I've done work for him, so it's not like he's just saying it. I've done a lot of work for him.
He's not getting paid to say it.
Yeah, right? Yeah, he likes our work, so and he's been doing it for a long time. So.
Love it. All right, Eddie. Well, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you inviting me. Thank you.
Good chat. All right, as we wrap up the show, quick reminder, check out our latest podcast and catch video version of the show anytime by visiting our website at satalkradio.com. That's going to be it for this one. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you on the next one.
Have a good one.